Welcome to the Backyard Professor Chess videos. All who want to see another Bobby Fischer chess game, signify by the upraised hand. Those opposed, if there are any. Hey, you kid in the back, snot-nosed kid. Put your hand down and sit down. Hey, let's do another Fischer. He's playing Goldsmith here. And he plays the Caro Kann defense. Fischer is the white. Goldsmith is the black. Let's see what Bobby uncorks here. Let's see what happens. C6. Ah, what a wuss move. Fischer already has this game in the bag. Knight C3, D6. What a weak center. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. Bobby Fischer comes roaring out. Yeah, baby. Knight D7. Okay. So we're on a good start for both sides. Yes, I'm being facetious. Bobby is just going to attempt to dominate the center. And in the Caro Kann, as in all openings, the opponent says, I'm not going to let you have it for free, which is always a good thing. Now, look at the swift, patient, steady development of both sides. Awesome. We always love it. Now, you notice they left the tension, but Bobby's going to go ahead and say, okay, hold on. Let me take the pawn here. And now an incorrect way to approach this already occurs. Yikes. He should have retaken with the pawn. So that's an inaccuracy. And Fischer says, oh, yes, let's do this. Let's switch it. And you say, well, what's the difference? Well, we shall see. We shall see. Oh, how we shall see. What do you think of that, Mr. Goldsmith? Queen out already. Watch out. Fischer's playing with fireworks. G6, and now that beautiful fork. So Fischer owns the center now, of course. The opponent is not going to let him just keep the center like that forever. Of course not. So, but look at this. Rather than worrying about his queen, Bobby just keeps right on bringing it out. And now you're starting to see, you better be careful. Bobby could get dangerous here. Some potential tactics coming up if this guy doesn't play his cards right or his pieces right. Cards, yeah. Okay, we're playing chess here, not poker. Of course, since Bobby, we see it, he's going to castle queenside and kingside. So, the general tenor of the situation based upon the characteristics of this particular intellectually stimulating opening demonstrate that without question, both sides are going to now blitzkrieg against each other's king. Whew. Wow, don't ask me to repeat that. Okay, now, Bobby takes the initiative. Right now, don't hesitate. Kablam. You're going, whoa. Now, here's where it gets interesting because his opponent made another inaccuracy. I'll say it that way. He retook it with the queen. Yikes. But he had to. Because Fischer already has tactics on. You see what he did? If he would have done this, then he could have done that. Right? Wouldn't that have been incredibly fascinating? So, as it is, he had to take it with the queen. I said inaccuracy. I'm just saying, I didn't mean inaccuracy. I apologize. It's just Fischer has already got tactics coming out of this thing like fireworks, man. And now bishop takes f6. Fischer is quickly whittling down everything as much as possible in an interesting manner. And notice what happened. The tactic. Because of the way Bobby had that set up, he is now a piece ahead. He got 2 for 1 there. Now that was swift. That was interesting. He couldn't have mistaken it wrong. He had to take it with the queen, but because of that, it cost him a piece. So we're seeing Bobby on fire here. He's doing really very well. And yes, after the general rule is after you do a tactic and you do some exchanging and all that, shore up your position. Don't neglect it. Don't keep attacking and attacking and attacking and attacking. Don't worry about attack again at this point. Make sure your center is secure. Yes, you've got him guarding the pawn at this point, but you don't want to babysit the pawn with the knight. That knight belongs up in here. So go ahead and take a moment and re-solidify things. This is good chess. So let's see what happens now. And now look at this. And you say, well, I mean, that doesn't do much. Hold it. It does, though. He's gaining space. And you go, oh, come on the H file, I promise he's gaining space. Gaining space helps you maneuver better. It's also against his opponent's castle king, right? So if he throws this up and keeps going to shatter the pawn structure with the queen in here and a bishop in here, uh-oh. So this makes sense, truly. So I'm just saying, makes sense. And now look at what Goldsmith does. You're down a piece. You don't want to exchange, but get rid of the strongest pieces on the board first, and then fight like heck. That appears to me what Goldsmith was thinking here. He made it virtually so that the exchange of queens will happen. Okay, so now that was Goldsmith's move. Now it's going to be a little easier, apparently, to manage without the ladies on the board. So let's see what happens when you're still a piece up, but now you've got less power on the board. Now you can begin to see, just looking at the board with as little a bias as I can throw in here, because I am biased for Silman. I promise I am. I am biased for the way the grandmasters play. I promise I am. But now you can see the power of Bobby's center with no pawns inhabiting the center with his opponent. Bobby's position is just better. That's all, right? But you can really see it here. It shows up really nicely. There's no reason to break that at this point. Just leave it, because look how it limits that black rook, right? That means something. That means something. Well, I haven't completely eliminated its activity. No, you're not about to, but you do limit it, and that's important. Okay, so I know it's all redundant. I get it, but still, let me point this out, because now look what Bobby does. How many times rook belong on open files, right? So Bobby immediately goes to work. Bravissimo. Yeah, okay, well, okay, let's go back to E7. All right. Come on. What's he going to do there? Right? Okay, well, let's go back here. Okay. You see the point here? That's not bad, right? So let's see what happens. Hey, rook on open file with no hindrance. Go ahead and use the file. Rook D6. Yeah, that's not bad. Now you got this. And you've got this. You got your highway and he's using it. And you say, well, he can't take that pawn and that pawn. No, not right now. But if you mentally start thinking targets all the time, this is a pretty good position for the moment. It's a lot better than down here and trying to get this guy up somewhere. That'll take you 2 moves. Whereas this just instantly gives you better power. It's easy to see, right? Sincerely, it really is. Don't forget your king. Seriously. We see this almost every game. Really. That's all I'm going to say to emphasize that, but that's crucial. And now F5. Okay, and you say, okay, just a minute ago you were saying, yeah, he had a good center. So now what are you doing? Well, you've got the highway in your secure footing. You really do have the center in quite serious, spectacular control here. Sincerely, gain more space. Your king's not threatened, so gain more space. This is great chess. Sincerely, it is. Oh, hold on. I apologize. That was that guy. He already moved A3. Gain more space. I'm sitting here elaborating and I'm thinking, that's not quite right. Something's goofy here. There we go. And you say, well, he's going to open up the king. You have to gain more space. Now, the advantage here is he's got his pieces backing up his pawns. Okay. Now, Fischer does have the pawn majority here, though, and he is up a piece. Now, granted, he's got both rooks, but Fischer is still up a piece. Okay, so this will be interesting to see. Yeah, boy, I about blew that one. Letting White move twice, he would have won. and he's going to take the pawn. And now the knight will take the pawn, and spectacular centralization. Just superb stuff here. Rook to F4. Okay, you got to get your pieces in. He's got a way to come. He does have a target if he so desires, but he has this combo. This could really cause problems if that goes up further. So why not help your 2 little squirts out? You want those 2 together, Squirt 1 and squirt 2 walk up the road together in hand, hopefully. Well, you got to help them out. Not going to happen. G takes H5. So Fischer, he had the pawn majority. So he used the H pawn to make the pawns weaker. It's a doubled pawn. He said, double pawns, instant weakness, game over. No, not yet. I mean, technically they're not blockaded, but certainly they're not. These guys are not as strong as these 2, right? So this is going to get to be a very interesting game. And now rook comes to D8, 8th rank. Why not? Get behind the king. You can see the target square he's shooting for, right? Tell me you saw that. He's going to go ahead and pursue. Nothing's blockading him. There's not a whole lot he can do otherwise anyway. It's doubled pawns. They could become a weakness if they're blockaded. On the other hand, really, it's not a necessity for Fischer to hurry up and rush over there and try to blockade that pawn, right? You can see that. That pawn is never going to queen. So in a way, it's not that critical. So don't sweat it if he makes a run for it. Yeah, there's not a whole lot else he can do at this point. He's trying to save these guys for endgame insurance. He does have his second. Black has his second rank pretty secure. White is invading, of course, and he's going to go to rook G8 check. And so the king comes to 8-6. So in a way, bad and good. The king can give support to the pawn. It'll never make it. We can see that right now. So what does Fischer do? King Don't leave your king out of the game. You say, well, he's a piece up. That's true, but king anyway, right? And now rook f5. Look, if Fischer, yes, you're ahead, but you can't play sloppy because those double rooks can get very, very dangerous fast if you start making little errors. So don't do it if you can help it, right? Rook g4. Nice, not bad. So Fischer's going to notice he's keeping his rook activated. He's keeping it active at this point. He is also hitting targets. Yeah. And now rook g5. Rather than push the pawn and just let him take it and disrupt the pawns and be down yet another pawn, go ahead and protect the pawn. You've got the rook to do it. Rook g4, rook h5. And now look at this. Oh, no. Where did I go wrong? No way. That was supposed to be there. Oh, did I miss a move? I even rolled it off. Did I skip a move? I did. I'll bet I skipped a move. Rook a to e8. Oh, man, that was way the heck back there. Sorry. I messed the game up. The f-pawn was pushed. It doesn't affect the ending. That was about 9 moves earlier. This is the patented backyard professor mess it all the hell up and you can't fix it. I'm not going to go back and start over. So just trust me. That's not going to hurt anything. But boy, I'll tell you what, I've got to pay attention to details. And then rook g7. So here we go. And he'll exchange the rook. Okay, well, now here, now Bobby has no rooks, but he's still a piece up. So it looks like it's beginning to get more even, and it's really not. But just so you know. And now bishop to f1. And a rook to d5. The rook is going to try to generate some activity potentially on the queen side. Bishop will come back up to d3. I think he wanted to come to here and get the bishop over here. I'm not quite sure why he went to f1, but it doesn't matter now because he's there and he pushes the next pawn. Now, see, remember, doubled pawns on a file are weak if they are blockaded, which makes the lead pawn the target pawn. But if they're mobile, then they're not weak. He's moving. He knows this guy isn't going to get in, but that doesn't mean that one's not. You may as well, you're in the end game, start pushing that pawn too. So really, that makes sense. It's a good move. King will come back up to e3, centralizing the king fundamentally so, and now rook to h5 again. Rooks belong behind passed pawns, right? Knight to d6. Here comes the extra piece, and things are going to happen. He does go ahead and pursue h3 all the way down, so he's broken up Bobby's pawn pair, right? Very good. Now black has a passed pawn. His rook's not behind it yet, but black has a passed pawn. But it's a long way before he can break that baby in, right? So Bobby breaks up the queen side for the end game. That's not good for black. That's a great move for Bobby. And now rook to h5 again. He wants to... Down here, that's true, he's hitting the pawn, but he's not going to take that pawn. That pawn's guarded, so it's better to be here and at least get a central aisle across, right? At this point. And now here comes Bobby. You got rid of the pawn problem, now push the pawns. Now Bobby can afford to play on the queen side. And now blacks might start feeling a little heat, right? And so rook e5 check. That makes sense. King f4, centralizing, not dodging behind the pawn. Go ahead and centralize and come on out. Rook e7, of course, because you got to find the target. Make your piece useful. Don't just play defense and move out of the way. Go ahead and do a defensive move and at the same time do an offensive move. That makes sense. Knight d8. Here we go. c5. You may as well push that to break up his 3 pawns. And now each one of them have a passed pawn. But can't you agree White's is so much better? Yeah, so don't neglect the king. The king is a fighting piece, but now you can see the problem here. And instantly, and I've said this in other chess games too, the passed pawn becomes the most important piece on the whole board in the endgame, and you absolutely have to stop it. And so black's on defense. I mean, dang, this is not a good position for black. He's in trouble. Bishop e4, protect the pawn. Nice. So king e7, use the king. You can make Bobby do moves that you don't want, that he doesn't want to. And so he comes back to knight b7. Beautiful outpost. It's a great setup. King f6. Opposition with the king. Knight d6. Interesting move on Fischer. Rook e7. He's going to come to here. And now c7. And he's got the queening square covered. And here black resigned. So Bobby gets a sweet little victory. That was a fun little game to play. So thanks again for watching the Backyard Professor Chess videos. It's always a pleasure. It's a lot of fun. I appreciate all your enthusiasm, your comments, your support, your happiness. Be good, do well, have fun, smile a lot. It makes people wonder, what is he or she thinking? Besides, it's funner to be happy than be miserable. Watch the dance of Mother Nature occur. It's phenomenal. The clouds, the trees, the wind, the snow, the rain, yes, the stupid cotton picking cold, sometimes the warm, etc. Enjoy life. It's a glorious thing to be alive, and I will see you in the next Backyard Professor Chess videos. Without question. I love doing these. So much fun.